This is the 2024 Mazda CX-3 1.5 Plus, the entry variant, price 115,000 ringgit. And everyone knows at this point what the Mazda CX-3 is, okay? You see it everywhere. It's pretty ubiquitous because it's been around for a full decade. 2014 was when it was first launched into the world, and 2015, the year after, it came to Malaysia. In fact, I was there at the launch. What I want to know is, has Mazda done a good enough job at actually making this car relevant in 2024? I'm Jim, this is Carlist, and let's find out. Mazda got a lot right with the CX-3. How many 10-year-old cars look this fresh and this good? I think if Mazda had just launched the CX-3 yesterday, I don't think anyone would have anything to poke about its design. That whole Kodo solar motion thing gets more legit as time goes on. It's a sensational look on a small car, but just very familiar at this point. Hot take. I wish the Mazda 2, which has also been around for a long time, shared this exact body. Except the cladding and the jacked up ride height, of course. So there are three variants right now. This one in particular is the 1.5 litre plus, which kicks off the range here in Malaysia for 115,000 ringgit. And above this, you get a 2 litre plus for an extra 10,000 ringgit. It's the same car, same spec, but you do get a 2 litre engine. And then the range topping 2 litre high at 138,000 ringgit with all the goodies. So in case you didn't know, the Mazda 2 came first. Then the CX-3 was sort of spawned from that, sharing its platform and powertrains, just SUV crossover-ified. So the story of this Plus is actually tied very much to the older Core variant, which was introduced in 2022. So that was short-lived because the complaint among customers and among us as well, journalists and whatever, was that it was too bare bones. And it's true, it was really quite kosong lah, okay? The Plus fixes that and adds 7,000 ringgit to the price, but adds so much more equipment, you don't even care about that. There are certain things though that are carried over. So the first ones are these wheels, okay? 16-inch wheels, which are quite small for most of us, but I honestly quite like them because I get extra comfort and pliancy from the sidewalls, and they're given a nice gunmetal finish. And these are a big deal, okay? The headlights. In the Plus, you get LED headlights and taillights, which you expect because it's a premium car, it's a Mazda, but the Core from just last year only got, for 108,000 ringgit, halogen headlights, halogen taillights. Can you believe that? And the wing mirrors in the older Core were manual fold, but this you get auto fold. What a premium feature. Alright, so first of all, I can appreciate how Mazda wanted to actually nail down the driving position because immediately I feel in control. I feel like it's a snug and tight feeling car. Speaking of which, this car isn't very big. Yeah, it's a snug experience in here. It's very cozy, and if you're buying an SUV for a practical experience, a big size car, this isn't it. But I'm not gonna knock the fabric seats, okay? Yes, this is fabric, but fabric is a spectrum. There's good fabric and bad fabric. This is very good fabric. It feels really nice, and I prefer fabric in fact because it's more comfortable, and on a hot day in Malaysia, you don't burn your bum. But you don't get electric adjustment, not even for the driver. One thing I can't complain about is how Mazda knows how to build a good feeling car. It feels expensive, okay? With the same ingredients, you ask another manufacturer to build something with plastics and, you know, some metal here, some leather there, some satin finish material here, and you won't get a car as good feeling, as expensive feeling as Mazda can do it because everything in here feels really tightened together. The plastics are also a spectrum because you have high quality plastics and also hard plastics, but I don't really find them anywhere. Everything really feels good and tight. You do get some leather though, okay? If you really want some, you'll find some on the steering wheel and on the gear selector. Another familiar thing is the 8-inch screen running the old style MZD Connect infotainment interface with this industrial theme thing going on over here. It works really well because it holds up. One of the things that also holds up from the CX-3 is the rotary knob. Yes, touchscreen, but you can only use it when you're stationary or very slow speeds. Otherwise, you'll always want to use the rotary knob. And one more upgrade from the Core to the Plus is wireless Apple CarPlay. So you can just go here. No wire required, but there's no wireless charger, so you still would need one of these. Very fittingly, I have paddle shifters, I have automatic headlights, and a full complement of iActive Sense active safety features, so blind spot monitoring, SCCB, smart city brake support, lane keep assist, rear cross traffic alert. For the price, which is 7,000 ringgit over the Core, this seems like a very good value. Storage areas are decent in this car. You get a big glove box, which can also store a big bottle. Same goes for the door pocket, a big bottle goes there, but not much behind that. The only letdown visually in this cabin is the manual air conditioning over here, which I don't really mind over the screens because I can just easily use the knobs. It's fine for Malaysia. So in the back seats of the Mazda CX-3, it is not the biggest SUV in its class, definitely not. The window line doesn't really help as well because it's a bit cramped. Headroom wise, I have maybe about 10 cm of that I can measure. Yeah, about 10 cm. All right, and knee room, I have a bunch of that too, and I'm sitting behind myself, so if someone were to sit ahead of me that is taller, yeah, I wouldn't have a lot of leg room. Storage wise, you do get 2 cup holders in the middle, but this big-ish bottle can only just about fit in the door pocket. Luggage space on the CX-3 actually is quite decent. You have 350 liters of space, so that's maybe like 4 carry-on sizes, but look at that load lip, it's a bit high. Also a load lip to go down there. No surprises here, guys. No doubt that the CX-3, like every other Mazda, there's a certain amount of fun built into it. The biggest draw of this car, as well as any Mazda, is how it drives. It just makes you feel connected to the road in a way that, I don't know, a sports car would give you, but it gives it to you in a small SUV. A small SUV isn't supposed to handle. It's supposed to take you from A to B comfortably, in relative quietness, and be easy to live with. 10 years later, okay, I know this car is a bit long in the tooth, a bit, older, but 10 years later, it's still showing the way, it's still leading the way in this class for a car that can handle. And I haven't mentioned the engine yet, so I'll do that now, okay? It is a 1.5 liter, normally aspirated Skyactiv G for gasoline, so petrol engine. Normal stuff from Mazda, 4 cylinders, no turbo, of course, that's what I mean. The thing about this engine is I can see why people actually recommend the 1.5 liter over the 2 liter in the MX-5. This engine is beautifully linear, maybe even more linear than the 2 liter. And they sound exactly the same. They make a good noise too. And it's paired with the, again, very familiar 6-speed Skyactiv Drive automatic gearbox. And this time around you get paddle shifters. It shifts as fast as a dual clutch. Bang, there you go, 5th gear, 6th gear. It just does it, there's no hesitation. Upshift, yes, yes sir, upshift, yes sir. Downshift, yes sir, right away. And it's smooth too. The issue with dual clutches, sometimes you have to tune it in a certain way to make it smooth, like an auto gearbox, like this. In this case, it's as fast as a dual clutch, but as smooth as any good automatic. Into 6th gear, quietens down. And you know what? I know that in normal driving and normal life, I wouldn't need the extra power, and I could probably enjoy the extra fuel savings I would get in the 1.5. So I recommend just get 1.5, unless you really want the extra power. You don't mind paying the extra road tax and consuming a bit more fuel here and there. Yeah, sure, get the 2 liter plus. But to me, the 1.5 is completely fine. The refinement in this car is premium level, okay? You can actually price a car a certain way, but if you step inside and you feel that this car isn't that well put together, the materials don't have the kind of cohesion, there's a certain feel that a premium car has to kind of exude and just kind of like be absorbed into all the pores of all the materials, and this car does have it still. Again, 10 years later, because it's very quiet at high speeds. It's very stable at high speeds. It's certain kind of vibrational reduction, noise reduction. NVH levels are very low. It does feel like a more upmarket car. Because with the Core last year, yeah, that was really kosong spec. A bit too much kosong spec, okay? With the Plus, you get ADAS, you get halogen. Well, you used to get halogen headlights, which is crazy, and now you get LEDs, front and rear. You get all the good stuff that you really need in a premium car in the Plus. Leather seats, I don't get leather seats here. Does it bother me? Not one bit. I prefer fabric seats, and these fabric seats feel really, really good. Sunroof, you get that in the high, you don't get in the plus. I don't really care. Sunroof, it's too hot in Malaysia anyway. Manual air conditioning. So it might sound like I'm making excuses for Mazda, but I'm not, okay? The air conditioning works. I mean, the air conditioning is one of those things that has become more complicated than it has to be, because we all expect to have climate control, some fancy buttons and screens, different readouts for this side of the cabin, this side of the cabin, different temperatures here and there. But honestly, since my first car, Proton Savvy by the way, I've had always a dial over here, okay? Warm, cold, more cold, less cold, more warm, whatever. Fan speed, less fan speed. With this system over here, it works, and it works so intuitively that I can probably operate it without even looking at it, without even, I want more coolness, I want more temperature, I want less temperature, I want more fan speed, less fan speed. These days you have all these different readouts and screens, and everything's a bit too complicated that it makes you kind of poke at the screen itself, or make you take your eyes off the road just to operate it. This doesn't do that. But there isn't any way for the rear passengers to get aircon. It's from the front, it has to go all the way to the back. Luckily, this is not a very big car, but come on, you have B segment SUVs cheaper than this with rear aircon vents, and this car doesn't have it. Yeah, that's a bit of a tough pill to swallow. People, I guess, would it be easy to dismiss the CX-3 as a known quantity, okay? Because it's been around for 10 years, or in this case, in Malaysia for 9 years. What I would urge you guys to do is to take another look at the Mazda CX-3, because it could be the car for you, because they've kind of repositioned it, okay? Especially with this Plus version, to be quite a value-packed premium B-segment SUV. I think I was wrong about the Mazda CX-3. It's proven to me over the last few days that it's a great little SUV, a great little Mazda. I can see why they've kept it around for so long. It's still a bit expensive though, 150,000 ringgit. There are cars in the market, other SUVs that give you more practicality for the family. But if you know what you want and you want a Mazda, this is the one to get. And the ones to get within that range is the Plus. I can live without the bells and whistles of the high, and I think you can too. So if you want more videos, subscribe to Carlist for more.